An impossible Star Trek Doctor crossover just happened. Star Trek's Dr. Beverly Crusher, Gates McFadden, meeting nurse Christine Chapel, Jess Bush, is likely impossible, but the actresses just crossed over and Gates McFadden's podcast investigates. Who do you think you are? Since 2021, Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Star Trek, Picard's Gates McFadden has hosted an intimate conversational podcast from the Nacelle Company. Investigates Season 3 just premiered, dropping 3 new episodes with Star Trek guests Sonequa Martin Green, Michelle Hurd, and Jess Bush. Since 1987, Gates McFadden has portrayed Dr. Beverly Crusher, Chief Medical Officer of the USS Enterprise D&E, as part of the main cast of Star Trek, The Next Generation, and continuing in the 4 TNG movies. McFadden reprised Beverly to great acclaim in Star Trek, Picard Season 3. Although the character of Nurse Christine Chapel was originated by Majel Barrett Roddenberry in Star Trek, the original series, Jess Bush portrays the younger Chapel in the prequel Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, which has delved deeper and fully explored the Starship Enterprise's top nurse. Jess Bush joins Gates McFadden for an hour-long conversation and investigates episode 302. The two actors conversing is an otherwise impossible crossover between Nurse Christine Chapel and Dr. Beverly Crusher, who exist a century apart in 2 different Star Trek eras and time periods. Jess Bush is best known for Star Trek, but the Australian native is also an accomplished visual artist, photographer, writer, and model who works with NASA, and she gets personal delving into all of these subjects on Investigates, which is Jess's first ever podcast appearance. Listen below. Of course, Gates McFadden is an inspiration to Jess Bush, not just as a fellow actor who plays a doctor in Star Trek, but also as a person. McFadden herself is a multi-talented and accomplished actor, dancer, choreographer, and director. On her Instagram, @Oniesa, Jess posted a photo with herself and Gates at a Creation Star Trek convention, praising McFadden as one of the coolest women I know. Check it out below. While a Star Trek crossover between Dr. Beverly Crusher and Nurse Christine Chapel can't happen without a significant break in established canon, Nurse Chapel's work in the 23rd century may have inspired Dr. Crusher in the 24th century. Chapel is one of the most prominent Starfleet medical officers of her era, and the first woman to practice on the Starship Enterprise. Dr. Crusher becomes even more accomplished in Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Picard's timeline, becoming head of Starfleet Medical and even curing Starfleet of Borg assimilation in Star Trek Picard Season 3. Why Chapel is a nurse instead of a doctor nurse. Christine Chapel was created for Majel Barrett Roddenberry to give her a role in Star Trek, the original series, after Star Trek's first pilot, The Cage, was rejected by NBC. Majel played number 1, the first officer of the USS Enterprise, but NBC demanded her character be excised. Nurse Chapel was a recurring character in Star Trek, helping Dr. Leonard McCoy, DeForest Kelley, in sickbay, and Christine was best known for her unrequited love for Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy. In a universe of infinite possibilities, the unthinkable has occurred. Star Trek's most iconic doctors have crossed paths, creating a collision of timelines, medical philosophies, and personalities so unexpected that even the laws of physics seem stretched. It all began when a temporal anomaly appeared near the edge of Federation space, a ripple in time that baffled the crew of the USS Enterprise. But this wasn't just any anomaly, it was a tear in the very fabric of the multiverse. Little did they know that through this rift, the legendary doctors of Star Trek would meet in an impossible crossover event. The anomaly, a gateway to parallel universes, the adventure began when the USS Enterprise under Captain Jean-Luc Picard encountered the anomaly while on a routine mission. The rift, shimmering with multicolored energy, seemed to pulse in and out of existence, defying every known law of spacetime. "It's not just a tear in space," Data said, his golden eyes widening in fascination. "It's a confluence of universes." Dr. Beverly Crusher, the ship's chief medical officer, was the first to notice something unusual in sickbay. Medical readings began fluctuating wildly, and systems that had never failed before were suddenly malfunctioning. But the real shock came when, out of thin air, a man materialized in front of her. It was none other than Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy, former chief medical officer of James T. Kirk's USS Enterprise. I don't know what kind of blasted technology you people are using, McCoy muttered, looking around at the unfamiliar sickbay, but it's got me in the wrong century. The doctors converged before Crusher could fully process McCoy's sudden appearance. Another figure materialized on the bridge, Julian Bashir from Deep Space Nine. He blinked in confusion, recognizing the Starfleet uniforms but not the faces. What is this? Some sort of holosuite program gone wrong? And then another spark of energy erupted, and this time the doctor, the holographic physician from Voyager, emerged. Please state the nature of the medical emergency, he said automatically, before looking around and muttering, "Oh, not again." The impossible had happened. Star Trek's greatest doctors were now all aboard the Enterprise, brought together by the mysterious anomaly that had torn open their universes and collapsed their timelines. But the anomaly wasn't just a freak accident. It was a ticking time bomb. Unless they could close it, all of space and time might unravel. A clash of styles, the resulting team-up was nothing short of extraordinary. Each doctor brought not only their medical expertise, but also their unique style and personality to the problem. Crusher, calm and methodical, tried to mediate the situation, but McCoy's gruff, old-school approach immediately clashed with Bashir's more progressive, genetically enhanced intelligence. "You're telling me Starfleet's letting genetically engineered doctors practice medicine now?" McCoy grumbled. "In my day, we didn't need any fancy augmentations to know how to treat a patient." Bashir, unbothered by the comment, simply raised an eyebrow. "We've come a long way, Doctor. You'd be surprised what we can do now." And then there was the Doctor, Voyager's holographic physician, whose caustic wit and highly developed ego made him both a brilliant doctor and an infuriating colleague. "I must say, it's refreshing to meet so many of my counterparts," he quipped. "Though clearly, I am the superior version." "If you weren't a walking light bulb," McCoy growled, "it knocks some sense into you." Crusher, caught between these wildly different personalities, did her best to keep them focused on the task at hand, closing the anomaly before it destroyed them all. She took the lead, coordinating their efforts to analyze the anomaly's structure and develop a solution. But time was running out, the anomaly was growing, and the stresses on the ship were becoming severe. Hailing the multiverse as the anomaly continued to destabilize, the doctors found themselves in a race against time. Their skills were pushed to the limit, and tensions flared as they debated the best course of action. McCoy wanted to focus on treating the immediate medical risks to the crew, while Bashir advocated for a more experimental approach to closing the rift. The doctor proposed using Voyager's advanced holographic technology to stabilize the anomaly, though Crusher worried about the unpredictable side effects. Ultimately, it was a combination of all their efforts that saved the day. McCoy's pragmatic approach to medical emergencies helped stabilize the crew, while Bashir's expertise in genetic engineering provided a crucial breakthrough in understanding the anomaly's effects on the cellular level. The doctor used his holographic matrix to interface with the anomaly, buying time for Crusher to devise a medical treatment that could neutralize the anomaly's destabilizing effects. In the end, they succeeded in closing the rift, preventing the collapse of the multiverse. As the doctors prepared to return to their respective times and places, there was a moment of mutual respect. Despite their differences, they had worked together to solve a problem bigger than any one of them could handle alone. McCoy tipped his hat to Crusher. "Not bad for a bunch of future doctors." Bashir smiled. "I'll take that as a compliment.